Hey guys, in this video you probably know what the content is going to be. This video is the tutorial that I promised on building a complete chat application using Ionic 3 and Firebase. I made a demo a couple of days back and then uploaded a video on it. You can refer to it. It will be the latest video in this channel. I mean, last but one video in this channel. Anyway, guys, before we start with the coding part, let me address three points that I need to discuss with you first. The first one being a lot of guys after seeing the demo video are asking me why are you sweating this much, and then even I can see that there is a lot of sweat involved in that video. The thing is, I made it was a stupid decision. I think I have a window in this room, guys, and I decided to soundproof this room. So what I did was I took a lot of bubble wrap and then covered that window completely, and then I also took a lot of foam sheets that come with these electronic packaging, right? The screen of the monitors, they keep a thick foam sheet so that the dust doesn't stick on the monitor screen, right? So I took such foam sheets and then stuck on the window as well. And rather than being soundproof, it's like now it has literally become an oven, and that's the reason why as soon as I switch off my fan, I start to sweat a lot. Anyway, that's one point that I want to discuss. The second thing is a lot of guys have been, the second thing is regarding this code. So a lot of guys have been asking me what is production code actually in the real software industry. What is production code, and why are you always saying this is just a tutorial, this is just a beginner level tutorial, and production code will be different and all that. So let me address this in a simple way, guys. In a very simple terms, production code is nothing but the code you write, and the code you write to fix a problem, and if it works successfully with minimal errors, that's production code. You can write it in any way you write it, any way you want, but it should fix that particular problem and it should work as you desired. That's production code. Okay, so you might ask me now, so what about all the rules that are to be followed? For example, the spaces, the indentations while writing the code, and all the JS docs that we need to include above all the functions, and yeah, so there are a lot of rules like this, right? So all these rules are set especially for one purpose, that is scalability. As your app as your user base increases, you would need to scale your app in such a way that it is able to handle multiple requests, right, from different users. And by increases, I mean by thousands and hundreds. Once you start to get thousands and thousands of users, the requests coming to your app will be more, and you need to scale your app in such a way that it is able to handle everything. So what you'll do is you'll hire in more engineers to work on the app, right? So when those engineers come in and look at your code, they should be able to at least understand some of it, right? That's the only reason that you specifically follow certain rules while writing production code. So that's where all the rules come in, and you need not worry about all those rules and then all those beautification stuff and all those documentation stuff and all that. For each and every team, there will be if you are working in a startup, there will be a CTO, obviously. If you're working in a large company, a large development company, there will be a systems architect. The guy, before writing the application, he will call all the team guys, and then he'll set the specifications, the standards of how the code base, all the standards which the code base should follow. So you can just go through his specifications, and then you can start writing your code accordingly. So you need not worry about all that, guys. Any code that you write to fix a problem, and if you are able to understand that and the code works with minimal errors, that is production code. And if your application actually is pushed on, if your application is made commercial or open source and then a lot of people start using it, it's production code. So yeah, that's one point that I need to discuss. The third point that I need to touch on is SAR. You can, if you feel like I'm ranting on, just skip on to the part where I start with the code. Anyway, the third point that I wanted to touch on was this specific tutorial. Now, this is my way of writing the code, guys. I am targeting an intermediary user. For example, a user has learned the components in the API and how Ionic 2 works and all that, and now he is starting to look forward to write his own application. So he'll be standing at a point and wondering how to start or how to write, right? So this entire series of videos is targeted towards such a guy. So there might be n number of ways of optimizing the code that I write throughout this series, and there might be n number of ways of writing better code than what I write in this series. So yeah, I'm saying this in advance so that guys don't comment saying that why are you writing this in an elaborate way. you could just simplify this and write it in a shorter way, and like that. So I am just saying this out so that I can avoid such comments. Anyway, let's move on with the code, guys. So in the first part, this is going to be the first part. In the first part, we will just see how to sign in and how to create a tabs page. Okay, so let's start. First, I have scaffolded out as usual. First, I have scaffolded out an Ionic 3 application, and I have installed Firebase and Angular Fire 2. Angular Fire 2 I'll be using only for authentication purposes. Angular Fire 2 has been split into two. It's now Angular Fire 2/auth and Angular Fire 2/database. Auth deals with all the authentication functions and database deals with the database functions. So we'll be making use of auth alone in this application, and for database functions we'll be using directly the Firebase built-in API that comes in with. Anyway, we'll address that when we go to that. Now we'll move on with the authentication. So where was I? Yeah. Okay, we'll get into pages. Delete this home page first. We'll start from fresh. We'll start blank, and then I'll open this. So Ionic G page login. Okay, this is done. So one more page, Ionic G page tabs. Okay, so I created two pages, login and tabs. Okay, once you are successfully logged in, we'll be redirected to the tabs page. So first, my login page. This is the demo video that I made, that I was mentioning a couple of minutes back, right? This is the demo video. The login screen looks like this, right? Login screen looks like this. So before showing you how to write this, the CSS styles that I got for this screen was from this video, guys. This video is by Chahoun Sofanit. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing if you're watching this and I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Anyway, I got the inspiration and the code from the CSS code from this video, guys. Yeah, you can see this video if you have any doubts in that CSS. For now, let's just take the CSS and paste it here. So I'll grab the CSS from the code that I wrote for the demo, and then get in here, paste it, save this, and before we start designing the page, maybe we should first finish the configuration thing. So first I'll go into app.component.ts homepage, which has been deleted. So I'll just delete it here as well, and instead of home page, this should be login page. Okay, and then inside app.module.ts home page is again deleted, and we'll be using lazy loading for this entire app, guys. So we need not include any pages here, but we need to include the Angular Fire thing, right? Import. Okay, and Firebase configuration we'll have in a separate file. So app.firebase.config.ts. okay, and inside this I'll copy paste my Firebase configuration. You should do this from your own application. This is my app, obviously, so I am using this. And then what else? Get back to app.module.ts, import that config that you just created. Import from dot slash and then here you just need to give Angular Fire module dot initialize app and specify the config. Okay, that's it, guys. Now that we have the Firebase all set up, let's get into login.html, and then we'll make use of this CSS functions there. So first I'll if you notice in the CSS, I have given here a background image, right? So let me get that background image and paste it here. Okay, now if you see, you have the bgimage.jpg file here, right? Anyway, let's move on with the code. So now I can give class equal to background. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll have a card, ion card. Sorry, ion card, it's a hyphenated word, right? Ion card, and inside this ion card header. Okay, and inside this I'll just type login, and the next thing will be ion card content. In this we'll have a list. Okay, ion list, no lines, and inside the list we'll have ion item. Okay, and this will be ion input. And then what else was there? We had a forgot login details, get help, login button, and an or, and don't have an account, sign up. We need 4 more stuff, right? Okay, first we'll do the forgot login button. For that we'll simply have a anchor tag. Now that this is done, we'll have the button next. Yeah guys, I think that's it. And oh, this button is also clear, and it's not a clear button. I think this button is an outline. Okay, yeah, let's just run this and see if it goes fine. Yeah, it goes fine, right? It goes fine, right? So now if you notice, what else did we miss from this? There seems to be good spacing, right? But in our thing it's just condensed. So what I'll do is I'll include a spacer class, and also this login bar is there, right? I'll just remove this. We'll include a spacer class. Yeah, login bar is now gone. We'll include a spacer class. So we'll start from here. Div class equal to spacer, style equals height 10 px. Okay, and I'll control C this and control paste this everywhere so that there is ample spacing. Now let's see how it looks. Yeah, now it looks almost like this one, right? So we have achieved this one. There's too much space in between the email and password fields. Let's just reduce it to 5. Okay, yeah, now we have, I'll probably speed all this up in while editing the video, guys. You can design the form as you want. It's your own will and wish. Let's just move on with the code now. Anyway, we'll go to login.ts, Now I'll show you how to create an interface. If you are about to make use of some particular object with certain fields in your code repeatedly, you can create an interface and then make use of it wherever you I'll show you an example. I don't know, I mean, I know I haven't explained it properly, but I'll show you an example. Just go here and then get out of this, and then here inside your source directory you create a folder called models. Okay, and inside that you create a folder called interfaces. Okay, and inside that you create a file. We'll have user grids. Okay, .es, and inside this export where export interface user grids email string password string. Okay, now you can make use of this user grids. I'll show you. Get into login.ts and import that here. Models, right? Models, interfaces. What was that? User grids. User grids. Okay, and then here you just give credentials equals an object as user grids. Okay, now you get my point, right? Now if you may try to make use of credentials, suppose you're making use of credentials here, this dot credentials dot, you get that email and password that you declared here in the interface, right? It helps. There are a lot of docs on interfaces, guys. I'm not going to dive deep into this right now. So if you want to learn more about this, kindly refer to those. Now where was I? Okay, I'll make use of this credentials here, credentials dot email and credentials dot password. Okay, and back in login.ts I have a, what was that, sign in method, right? Sign in. I'll have a sign in method, and inside this first I'll create a provider for authentication. Okay, a service more rather. So Ionic G provider auth. Okay, this generated a provider. If you need not include that in app.module.ts, guys, if you go to app.module.ts, you will see that it's already included, right? So the CLI does that now, if you haven't updated CLI, obviously. Anyway, let's move on with our code. So I'll write code for authentication there. So inside providers authentication, I'll remove these two. These are not needed right now, and then I'll remove this as well. Here I'll import what was that, Angular Fire. Okay, and a fire auth, Angular Fire auth. Okay, and I'll make use of that interface as well for type checking. So from models interfaces auth, it's not auth, user grids. Okay, and I'll give user grids here. Okay, now that I have this, I can simply make use of, wait, I'll show you. Login, you will get the credentials of that user, right, from the login screen. Now this credentials, you can simply match it up using user grids. Okay, This will be of the type user creds, and then this dot afire auth dot sign in with email and sign in with email and password, and I can simply give credentials dot email and credentials dot password. Okay, dot, then first I'll wrap this up in a promise. Okay, you can make use of async and await as well. I'll make use of promise. Async and await under the hood is nothing but a promise, guys. Read about that. Okay, resolve, reject, okay, and if this is successful, then I'll resolve it as true. If this is an error, I'll resolve it as I'll reject it as an error. Okay, and I'll return this promise to the calling function. So I have a login function that logs me in using my Firebase credentials inside my not Firebase credentials, the user credentials that I created in Firebase inside my application. So I'll get back here to login.ts, and inside the sign-in method I'll simply add, now that we have a method there, I can simply go ahead and add like this, right? Import auth from providers slash auth slash auth provider, and here I can just go ahead in constructor and add public auth provider. I will just give it as auth service so that it's more understandable, and auth provider, and inside this I can simply add this dot auth service dot login and pass in the credentials. I'll resolve it using a then, and the response, if response is true, actually the response will be true even if there is an error, right? If there is an error, this will return a JSON with the error code and an error message. So I need to check if not response.code. This will be the obvious optimal check, I think. Okay, so if it is successful, we are redirecting to log page. If not, we are simply saying alert error. Okay, not error, it's okay. So yeah, guys, let's see. So far so good. Let's see if this runs successfully. We have everything we want, right? It should run. Okay, wrap runs fine. Let's see if this works. So I have already created a user, so I'm making, if you haven't created a user, go to your console.firebase.com, and there will be an authentications tab on the left side. Click on it, and inside that there will be a blue color button called add user. You can just click on it and create a new user, and then use that user to log in here. So I'll give the password and try logging in. Let's see what happens. Wow, it logs in successfully, right? So we are taken to the tabs page. So tabs page looks silly actually. It should have tabs, right? That's the concept of tabs page. So if we look in this applications tabs page, it had basically three tabs, right? Chats and groups and profile. Three tabs: chats, groups and profile. So we'll first go ahead and create those three pages: Ionic G page, chats, now that we have created these 3 pages, let's get into our code. That's our code. And then get into tabs page and tabs.ts, and what you need to do is like very simple. You can remove all these. Okay, and then we'll just have 3 things. Tab1, this will be a string, this will be our chats page. Okay, and we'll have 2 more strings like this, each will having the groups page and profile page. Okay, and these will be called tab2 and tab3 respectively. Now go into tabs.html and remove all this. These are all not needed, right? And instead of this, just give ion tabs. This is the tabs directive, guys. And inside those, ion tab root. Ion tab and root, this is the first argument, this will be tab1 obviously, and tab title second one. This is the chats page, chats, we'll give chats, and we'll close this. Similarly, we'll have a couple more tabs, each will be tab2 and tab3, and this will be groups, and this will be profile. Okay, now let's see how this works. Okay, I'm clicking on login. Wow, it works great, right? As you can see, we are redirected to the respective page and the title changes, right? Tabs works fine, right? And it gives a cool effect as well. Now if you notice, in our application we had small icons as well, and the tabs were placed at the bottom top of the page. So let's do the same for this as well. So in that case, what you need to do is we need to include an icon here. Tab icon equal to for chats, what chat bubble icon, chat bubbles. And then for this I had contacts, and then for this I had contact. Okay, now let's see if this worked. Yeah, how it looks way more cooler than it was previously, right? I mean, I feel that way, and probably you feel that way too. Now there is one more thing that you need to do. Get into app.module.ts and you add another argument here saying tab placement, or I think it's tabs placement top. Okay, now it will be placed on the top. Wow, it's on the top, right? Now we have an almost similar feature to this, as you can see, right? It's cool, right? Now even though it's cool, I feel that I would like to get the same teal color in this application as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into variables, not this one, sorry, that will be theme folder. Inside that there will be variables. These are the variables that are going to be used throughout the application. So I'll add another header color. Okay, and this I'll make use of the teal color. Now that I have got the color here as well, I just need to make use of it there. So color equal to h color. Not only here, we need to change it in the headers of this as well, right? Color equal to h color. Save this. save this, and one more page, profile page. Save this as well. Now let's see what the miracle. Wow, we get that cool looking color, right? Now we have a screen that's not exactly similar. This chats is in the center, right? Whereas in our application it's, I think in iOS it will be in the center, but in Android it's this. Okay, for that what I did was I took some code that I found in a forum. Ionic 2 header title center. I think it was this question because I had already clicked on it, obviously. Yeah, it was this thing I took. I'll copy this, paste it inside my app.scss, which means that it will be applied globally. I'll leave the documentation. Now, yeah, it's cool, right? You have this cool looking tabs feature with 3 tabs. We can't log in now, log out now. Anyway, you get my point, right? We had a login screen. I'll just refresh. We built a login screen in this video, and upon logging in we have this cool looking tabs, right? Tab screen. So in our following series of videos, what we'll do is we'll build out each and every tab. In my next and my third video, the video after my next video, what I'll be showing you is how to finish this login screen off. For example, if you notice, we haven't created the sign up page, right? Sign up page alone will take a couple of videos, I guess, because we need to sign up the user and we need to have a provision for him to choose the profile picture and store it in Firebase storage. Then we should add the profile picture along with the user, right? So we'll do that as well, and then we'll also build this password reset option as well. So first we'll finish the login completely in my next couple of videos, and then we'll start building the each and every page of each and every tab inside our user facing screen. So yeah guys, I think this video was a bit long, not a bit long, it was very long actually. If you felt the same way, kindly leave a comment below, and from the next video I'll try to make it as short as possible. Thanks for watching guys. See you guys in part 2. Become a patron if you like this video, and if you would like to keep supporting me so that I can give all my content free of charge to you guys. Thanks guys, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.